So, I have recently started experimenting with vegan eating, and even more tentatively with vegan living. I've been vegetarian for a good half of my life, so it's not as big a step for me as it would be for some others. But it got me wondering about Italy. What is the vegan terminology you'd need? Are there many vegans in Italy? Are they catered for? I have asked the great Google Oracle all these questions, and this is what it's told me. Let's start with the easy one first. If you're vegan, you can say sono vegano or sono vegana. I've also seen straight old vegan suggested, which is likely because Italians use many English words for mainly modern things, and this would obviously be more suitable for those who don't identify as male or female. Anyway, I think I can remember that. You might also hear or see vegetalista, vegetariano, and veganismo used in conjunction with being vegan. I'm not going to go into the subcategories here. I have read a lot of commentary that there are plenty of vegan dishes in Italy, which is obviously true, but that there are a lot of hidden ingredients, like meat stock and fats, that can creep into seemingly vegan dishes without Italians realising that they're giving you something you don't want to be eating. Sounds like vegetarianism here 30 years ago. So it could be a case of buyer beware. I have also seen that Italians are developing their own meat-type substitutes and other vegan options. However, these articles were all written by foreigners and mostly a few years old, so I went searching for articles in Italian. Because it was recently World Vegan Day, there were quite a few articles that were specifically about what vegan means in quite a lot of detail. This struck me as maybe in Italy, Italians are a little further behind with veganism than in, say, the UK. I also found an article that gave a few figures that were more enlightening, which is the one here. But here you can see that the question is being asked, how big is the wave of veganism in Italy? It states the results of a recent survey by Just Eat BVA Doxa. So 67% of Italians have reduced meat and fish consumption for health reasons and sustainability combined. 20% have experimented with a vegan or vegetarian diet. 14% are thinking of going vegan in the next 12 months. I'll let you read the other stats yourself. Apart from the fact that the number of restaurants offering vegan dishes increased by 31% in 2021. I haven't managed to find the actual survey, but I did find another Italian article with more details for those who are interested. I also found separate articles that reference research by Eurispes, saying vegetarianism had a high in 2020, but veganism is now declining in Italy. It also says that most vegans are in the younger age brackets, but that's probably true in many countries. I'm going to link a whole list of these articles below so you can practice your Italian reading if you want. So veganism and vegan dishes may not be as prevalent in Italy, but surveys, as we all know, can be misleading just because of the specific people who filled them out. So you'll need some more vocabulary to ensure that you're eating vegan food. These are only some basics. There will be plenty of other things not mentioned here. Non mangio, I don't eat whatever. Non posso mangiare, I can't eat whatever. You can also ask for a dish without something using senza. What are those whatevers? I prodotti animali, animal products. La carne, meat in general. I latticini, milk products in general. Il pesce, fish. Le uova, eggs. Il pollame, poultry. I frutti di mare, seafood. Il formaggio, cheese. Il latte, milk. Il burro, butter. La crema, cream. Il manzo, beef. Il maiale, pork. L'agnello, lamb. And don't forget about the specifically Italian meats too, such as prosciutto and pancetta. Il miele, honey. La salsa, sauce. If you're going for positive rather than negative, these are some items you might ask for in general. Il cibo a base vegetale, plant-based food. Il cibo vegan, or vegano, vegan food. La dieta a base vegetale, plant-based diet. Il latte vegetale, plant-based milk. And being more specific, il tofu, you've guessed it, tofu. Latte di soia, soya milk, or drink as it usually is in the UK. You might also see bevanda di in Italian too. Latte d'avena, oat milk. Latte di mandorla, almond milk. Latte di coco, coconut milk. Un sostituto della carne, meat substitute. Il formaggio vegan, or vegano, vegan cheese. As I said before, this is by no means an exhaustive list, and it's only research and not personal experience. It doesn't take into account non-vegan, non-food products, which are even more difficult to determine wherever you are. But hopefully this gives you a few pointers if you're learning Italian, you're vegan, and you're intending to go there at some point in the future. Plus you now have some reading materials where you can practice your Italian. This site even has vegan recipes you can try out.